Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your weekly reading for February 9th to the 15th. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and we're going to jump right in, Virgo. Yeah, last week, right? Right? Yeah. Healing boot camp. You had breakthroughs. There was a lot happening. You had likely some really big spiritual awakenings. Maybe there were some twists that were happening in your life, some surprises, some endings. But you were preparing for your brand new era, okay? And this week is going to be a little bit of the same as last week, but also very different, all right? Because here's the thing. You know what's happening next week, right? You know what's happening next week. So this week, you're pretty much like standing in front of many timelines that are possible for you, all right? And it's up to you to really just solidify what is your path. What is that path? What is the path that you are going to work hard for that will liberate you? How badly do you want it? Do you feel it deep down in your bones? Do you believe in yourself? Those are a lot of questions that you're going to have this week, right? Because we are truly, this is it. This is it. This is the road to your brand new era that starts next week. And listen, you already have Neptune in Aries, yeah? And so there could be some blurred lines, maybe a little bit of fog. Like you're probably asking, like, what's even real as you adapt to a lot of changes that are happening around you. And you, out of all the signs, I think I mentioned this, you are going to go through some significant changes, okay? But at the same time, you're going to be asking yourself, am I willing to go the extra mile for my vision, for my future? Is this the path? Is this the path? Like things are going to click, right? Your ruler is going to conjunct the North Node. Like we'll talk about this, but I just want you to know that Saturn, yeah, you see will join Neptune in Aries. So you are going to feel more responsibility, okay? And responsibility that could even test your faith in yourself. It's Saturn and Neptune, yeah? But also, you've got this North Node conjunction. There's so much happening, meaning this week, if you're truly awake, if you're paying attention, you might see things just click into place for you. But of course, you have to take that inspired action. You're going to feel your way through a lot of things this week as well, as soon as the week begins, all right? And that said, not even on the whiteboard on Monday, the moon will still be in Scorpio, squaring Venus, opposite Uranus, and trine Saturn. Okay, so we have a T-square, and that's the thing. If I drop these forecasts a few days before the actual week, a lot of y'all may be moving into this weekend where, remember, Venus is also square Uranus. So let's talk, okay? It is going to be an emotional day. We'll talk about it in the second spread, but I just want you to know that this is going to be an emotional week, all right? And I want to remind you that emotions, they're neutral, okay? It's where you put your energy that creates that emotional experience that you're seeking, right? That's, emotions. The Latin root is emotere, energy and motion. So remember, everything is energy. You want to vibrate at that high frequency, but I think you're really going to love Tuesday, February 10th, when Venus moves into Pisces. Wow. This Venus is exalted in Pisces. She thrives here. She does her best here. That's when she's at her most magnetic. And remember, she's joining Mercury all month, okay, in Pisces, meaning you're going to feel and think with greater compassion and diplomacy and harmony and, much more creativity as well, with a lot of emphasis on your values, yeah, and relationships and money. But you want to go back to relationships? Let's talk about relationships. Pisces rules your 7th house of partnerships and relationships and love and marriage and union and commitments. So this is really nice. And if you're not for love, this is career as well, okay? It's in personal relationships. It could be your relationship with your local farmer. It could be your relationship with your sister. But like anyone, wherever that energy is. But here's the thing: Venus in Pisces, the last zodiac sign, there is this sense of surrender for the dream. Yeah. And it's okay to dream, right? As long as you feel. That's what Venus in Pisces wants you to do. It's very spiritual. Yeah. It's when you also see the beauty in all things. You feel more devotion. You feel more soulful and inspired. Yeah. Just think of Renaissance paintings or Keanu Reeves brushing his hair. Wednesday, February 11th, you have the sun in Aquarius, sextile Chiron in Aries, 23 degrees. Last week, you had Mercury, you had Venus, now you got the sun. And this is a big deal. It's the sun. It's, it's life force. It's your purpose. It's vitality. This aspect, this is amazing. This is you wanting to be seen for what you've overcome, to show courage and confidence and self-acceptance, that your past wounds are just, chicken scratches. Yeah. This is when you're feeling optimistic about the new you that's emerging. All right. Remember, your past wounds not defining who you are. Okay. And a lot of emphasis here, again, not only with the sun in Aquarius, right? That's your sixth house. And so there may be something here that is literally even just you really feeling inspired in terms of, a service to others. That's you, right? Sixth house is your house. As well as just your daily routines. You're going to feel this optimism. And with the fact that you do have Chiron in Aries, we are going to talk about this a little bit later for you, but that is your eighth house. So don't forget that the eighth house is really deep. So you really may feel moved here, okay? Emotionally moved and even really empowered, really ready for this transformation that you're about to experience this week. Yeah. And remember, we are in Aquarius season. So there is going to be a lot of focus on your work as well. Your work environment, even like health habits, like I said, like health and your routines, your lifestyle. We have Mars in Aquarius still. So I like this. I really like this. I feel like you're going to feel very driven, okay, to do this healing. You're tapping into your, inner Ted Lasso here, but this is also all about self-belief too. I mean, the moon will be in Sagittarius. So the one thing that I'm going to say is that be very mindful this day. Make sure that you are able to distinguish your dreams from non-reality, okay? And that's because you're really feeling Saturn and Neptune. Yeah, they're already merging their energies. Saturn's at 29 degrees. Is right on Neptune. And it doesn't matter that they're still in different signs. So you're already going to be feeling that. And you see that the sun will square Uranus, okay? You're at the end of the week. We'll talk about it. But you're going to start feeling that a little bit now too. All right? And also Eris, Mars' sister, the disruptor, is right on Chiron. We'll talk about that in the second spread. But if you're a cross watcher, if you watch for a rising sign or your moon, or for Keanu Reeves, Virgo, yeah, it's got to be the air signs: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and I'm throwing in the fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Will feel this aspect the most. If you have any planets 21 to 25 degrees in your natal chart, in any of those signs, any of the fire or air, you'll feel it the most. Those planets will be aspected. Now, Thursday, February 12th, here's your big day. Now, Mercury conjunct the North Node in Pisces. And so Mercury, your ruler, the messenger, in a sign that's, again, very spiritual. And the North Node, your mission statement, the direction that you're going, You're going to love this. And I really want to hear from you. I want to know what happens for you this day because it's kind of a two-part thing here. A, yes, it's very likely that you're going to receive some downloads, faded message, epiphanies, right? Maybe through your dreams, maybe through it while you meditate, maybe while you're gardening, or when you see those synchronicities, right? Those only matter when they're meaningful to you. And so those you're if like the 1111s and things like that. Yeah, this is a day where you may be receiving those signals. But it's also Mercury. So, yeah, you could also have a faded conversation or, receive some news. And again, likely something here with relationships or partnerships or contracts or agreements. Remember, it's your seventh house, it's commitments, love, marriage, etc. There may be something here that shows you or validates your calling or opens a new path, shows you a sign you're on the right path, or there may be just something here that's introducing you to something new. So just be very present and aware and pay attention to the little things. And yes, time your appointments, any Zoom calls that you're going to have or important conversations that you need to have that, are going to move the needle forward at this time. There's the butterfly effect where one call or one DM or, one decision could change your entire timeline. All right. Now, the second part of this is that Mercury will go into shadow, 8 degrees. So there definitely can be people from your past that are going to start, emerging around this time. And again, maybe a former, relationship, partnership, can be business, can be love. There may be something here. All right. Here's the thing. Mercury will go retrograde February 25th. All right. That's when you really feel it. But Mercury will also go direct March 20th. And then we'll leave shadow April 9th. That's a long time for Mercury to be in your seventh house, meaning there's going to be a lot of communication and, even thinking about things, with relationships and partnerships. But the big picture here is that Mercury going direct March 20th will be at 8 degrees, meaning Mercury will conjunct the North Node again. Okay. But also Mars will be there. So there's going to be a triple conjunction March 20th in your seventh house of relationships and partnerships. So mark this day down in your calendar, though, because any actions that you take, any conversations, anything that I said earlier, from this point forward, you're coming back to it. You're going to be returning to something that happened around this time. All right. Now, it will be the mutable signs. It'll be Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and you. That feels this aspect the most. If you have any planets 7 to 11 degrees in any of those signs, yeah, you're going to hurl it. So the other thing is that there may be something here with, we will have the moon in Sagittarius, like I said, squaring Saturn and Pisces. So that is the last aspect of this kind for the next 30 years. So we'll talk about the second spread, but yeah, there may be something here with relationships and partnerships where you're going to be working with. Now, Friday, February 13th, this is the big day where Saturn moves into Aries around 7:30 p.m. ish, my time, Eastern Standard Time. We are officially here. This is a landmark day. Yeah, as a third of the 4 outer planets changing signs, part of the prism portal, the rare grand trine that we've never experienced. And Saturn, the last of the traditional planets, is all about discipline and hard work and commitment. And he can make you grunt. That's Saturn. He spends about approximately 3 years in a sign. And that's why you really learn those lessons, because he's there for a while. That's where you become more responsible, on his watch, right? Saturn's also karma. You put in the effort, he rewards you. You pass this test, you mature, you become an authority. And so Saturn has been testing you with relationships the past 2 years, 2.5 years. Yeah, partnerships and seventh house energy. Moving into your eighth house. And so this is kind of a big deal for you, Virgo, because it's not just Saturn and Neptune. You've got Chiron, you have Eris, you have Ceres, you have a lot happening in your eighth house. But with Saturn and Neptune here together, that is a big deal. And the eighth house is transformation. It's your, personal evolution, your personal revolution. It's the eighth house. It's death and rebirth. It's caterpillar to butterfly. It's also deepening relationships. Yeah. That you made from the past 2.5 years, or, even new ones, right? But this is you completely reinventing yourself. That's what Saturn and Aries is, but it's in your eighth house of transformation. So you're really, really going to be reinventing yourself. There's really going to be a new you. There's going to be a lot happening with your eighth house, with Saturn there. And so this is where your lessons are going to be for the next until 2028 with Saturn here, and co-present with Neptune. Just there is a depth to the eighth house. And so it's not just deepening relationships, it's also money. It's shared resources is the eighth house as well. And that includes, joint bank accounts, taxes, loans, royalties, commissions, inheritance, investments. It's a wealth building. Okay. So Saturn's going to be your teacher here. Okay. For until 2028. There's a big change. Everything is changing for you. Everything's changing because Saturn's moving into Aries, fiery Aries, right? The I am of the zodiac, a sign that is very young and pioneering and entrepreneurial, very driven, Mars ruled. Yeah. And so you see that there's already, again, as part of you, like I said, you can't have that rebirth part until you have that death part. And this week, you have everything shifting for you to move into this brand new era. So you are going through a huge transformation this week. And Aries energy is just so spirited and just wants to go and go and go. And Saturn, who's Chronos, right? Father Time. It's all about the long term. All about the long term. So he doesn't. He wants to take his time. He likes to drink his coffee slow. But wax on, wax off, okay? That's all there's to it. This is the very Mr. Miyagi energy. Wax on, wax off. To be rewarded, you got to do the whole thing. All right? No shortcuts. You got to do it his way. In leadership, in business, in redefining your identity, but also in wealth building, in deepening and building your close relationships. The eighth house is intimacy. It's also legacy. So there's a lot that's going to happen here. And a lot of it will have to do with relationships, like love, okay? Because Saturn natively rules your fifth house, which is true love, and it's joy and it's pleasure. So it's almost, you're just going to get a lot more serious about that. Yeah. So you out of all the signs, right? You Virgo, you can expect to really reinvent yourself from this point forward. All right. For the next few years. If you want to give it a little bit of a gander, if you want to think about the last time Saturn was in Aries was April 1996 to February 1999. Okay? If you want to get a little bit of an idea of like what you can expect for, until 2028. All right? But remember, it's just picking up on like the, patterns, because you didn't have Saturn conjunct Neptune that time. You didn't have 4 outer planets aspecting each other. You didn't have, you know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. And remember, you already had a little glimpse of, Saturn and Aries over last summer. But just really pay attention to these days because you do have your ruler conjuncting the North Node, yeah, in Pisces. And then you do have Saturn conjuncting Neptune already in Aries. The karmic energy is strong. But like I was saying, it's not just the fact we're moving into like the great new era, the great reset, the great awakening. It's the fact that Pisces is the last sign. Pisces, represents endings. Everything's moving out of Pisces. And then Aries, yeah, the first sign, it's initiation, it's beginnings, it's, yeah. So here's the thing. You are absolutely excited that Saturn is out of your 7th house. All right? All the mutable signs are excited about this move. Anyway, Sunday, February 15th. Yeah, that's when we have the Sun in Aquarius square Uranus and Taurus. 27 degrees. This happens twice a year. This is the first one. Here's the thing. There might be something here where, something's got to give, right? When you have a Uranus square. But this one I really like for you because the Sun is consciousness, yeah? Uranus, the unexpected, remember Aquarius's ruler, is in Taurus in your 9th. And so it feels to me that you're just going to shake things up. You're going to make things happen. You're going to, want change. You're going to want progress. And it may feel like things just come out of nowhere, out of the blue. That's that Uranian energy. You may, decide you no longer love spaghetti. And so you throw all the Prego out. Taurus actually does rule food too. So it's not so far out there. But anyway, Aquarius is rebellious energy. And remember, enjoys its freedom. So this day, you will likely feel the urge to break free from whatever you feel is restricting you. And again, there just may be something here with your daily activities and your routines, like shaking up your routines, but also work. Okay? There may be something here. And, you could have really, genuine breakthroughs around this time. I would not be surprised if there was also something here with, book publishing, broadcasting, education. There may be something here if you were experiencing it last week, maybe something here with the courts and legal matters as well, or the law. Some of you may have some experiences with like a second marriage as well. There may be some activity around that, but whatever it is, whatever this breakthrough is that you're going to have, the change that you're going to make, it's going to be for course correction. Okay. This is when you become the change, but we all know Uranus can be unpredictable. So remember, you're already adapting to all these changes. Yeah. And there may be some emphasis on relationships and finances and maybe even friendships. All right. And, Saturn is freshly new in Aries. There's a lot of things that you're adapting to here. But it does feel like it's more you. And if you are, a Virgo, like Virgo sun, I've said this before, sometimes these aspects aren't about you. It could be something within, it's something circumstantial. It could be like maybe this day you hear that like a colleague quits or, your boss quits or something like that, right? So there also may be something, to be honest, like a lot of y'all maybe, because we have that new moon solar eclipse next week, there may be something with service industry, whatever it is. I just feel like you're going to have some sort of breakthrough, and it could even be spiritually. All right. And by the way, on the Monday after, that's, yeah, Mercury will trine Jupiter. So you're going to be feeling that energy too on Sunday. But another energy that you're going to be feeling on Sunday is the moon in Capricorn will square Eris and Chiron. So there's still like some energy around that. We'll talk about the second spread. Fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius will feel this aspect the most. Planets 25 to 29 degrees, all right, in your natal chart. And any of those signs, you'll feel it the most. Let's get started. Let's see, Virgo, what's going on for you for, February 9th to the 15th. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Virgo. I was just, what are y'all doing? How y'all been? Virgo, I do a traditional cultic cross spread, offers the best overview. Yep. If we need to pull clarifiers, we will. And my voice is gone. I'm doing my best, Virgo. And you're really gonna see some big changes. But again, remember, this is your revolution. This is your personal evolution. This is change that you're going to be excited about. A lot of big things that are happening for you, to be honest. So, Virgo, let's get started. Let's see what's going on for you this week. All right. Yeah. There's, okay. Big change. Big old change that's happening. You're good. We're going to talk about something, but you're good. You're great. This is big change that's happening. Yeah. Queen of Swords. Great. Do it. Move into this week feeling very empowered, feeling, you are the, voice of reason, that you're even like mediator energy. But there is a sense of, with the Queen of Swords, she's got this really long backstory, and it's a good one, but there's a reason why she's sitting in that throne. Okay, she's gone through a lot. She knows justice. She knows truth. Yeah. And this is someone who is very empowered, who leaves her emotions at the door because she doesn't want her emotions to cloud her judgment. And so very likely that there is going to be a big message, right? For that you may make an announcement. You may be, throwing down some rules. You may be, whatever it is, you're moving into that authority, right? With like Saturn moving into Aries and whatnot. But this is really great. Okay, use this and feel it. There's a lot of like even cerebral energy is coming up, as in like you may have a lot on your mind, but it's got to have this, discharge, right? And it can be with an announcement that you make. It can be something where it is like, even you just speaking your truth. And that's still a very big thing that's happening as you move into this week, especially with the moon in Scorpio, right? There may be some revelations, and then also all this Aquarius energy, truth, right? Coming to the surface. So speaking your truth, hearing your truth, or hearing truth as well. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Now, Ten of Swords. There may also be something with relationships here too. Okay. Now, Ten of Swords in the heart of your spread. If you are a cross watcher, very interestingly, yeah, it's been coming up a lot. It's the end. It is the end. So it feels like there may be something very empowering from this moment. When you get to that Ten of Swords in the heart of your spread, it's like there's relief and release. But at the same time, it could have been hard. It could have been challenging. It could have been, if you felt like you were just like, oh my gosh, like I feel like that was the hardest thing that I went through. Okay. Because this card, it does have a little bit of betrayal. It does feel like there's a sense of that there's no way out. I mean, when you look at the card, right? However, when you really look at the card, those dark clouds are actually clearing. It is a 10. 1 0 equals 1, new beginning. This is the end. Secondly, this is the card of new dawn. So that sun is coming out, right? You also see his hand gesture is the same as the Hierophant. So it's blessings, but blessing in disguise. Whatever this is, you felt empowered to change something, whether it was something circumstantial within your world or up here. Yeah, that takes a lot of courage. That is what self-healing is. And so this is saying you never have to go through that experience again. Okay? Anything that you're going through that could have really, you know, took up a lot of headspace. That's what, the sword suit is. It's the mental suit. It's communication, it's thinking, it's logic, it's processing things. But at the same time, swords are truth. And so again, you see that happening here. Now, another thing is there could be something that you heard or you experienced that was like, but that's part of your death and rebirth, right? There you go. You can't get any more metaphorical here with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, yeah, in your 8th house. And so there's something here. Remember, the truth sets you free. And with all this Aquarius energy thrown in, right, that is freedom. And so there is something liberating about this. And then you have, there it is, the 7 of Pentacles in your challenge area. 7 of Pentacles, here's the thing. We're fully letting go of the past. Yeah? That's what we're doing, okay? Not holding on to any of that energy. It's fine if you kind of, process things in terms of, your money, your wealth, your path, whatever it is. Calculate it, assess it, but don't get stuck in it, okay? We're all about moving forward. Again, we're still in Aquarius season, very future forward thinking. And again, a lot of this is really just a lot of closure, a lot of just endings, okay? And having a new way of thinking, new way of processing things. That's what Saturn wants. It's all about the new. Neptune too, everything. And then again, new moon next week. So keep that in mind. You may be thinking about when it comes to career or jobs. Pentacles are a physical world too. Can be relationship, whatever it is. This is the week where you may make a decision on like moving forward with or without. Now the second thing is, yes, there may be someone close to you who may be on the fence about moving on this journey, moving along with you, okay? So it's just, you may have some conversations about that. Yeah. And a lot of it may be career, but, it does feel very career, money related, even relationships, whatever is, worth your time and investment that remember, you feel it in your bones, part of your path moving forward. Now, 9 of Cups in your crown. Perfect. Amazing. There you go. This is a card of complete satisfaction and joy and happy, like, even like tons, like enlightenment. Okay. So very nice. Very great. It is the wish come true card. That's what we call it. You look at him sitting there like a genie in a bottle. And so great. Wonderful. I feel like you're going to be so enlightened this week, but you've got to out with the old, in with the new, right? And then you have that 10 of Pentacles and the root of your spread. And so what? First of all, this is your card. Yeah. And you see the pentacles raining from the heavens here in the form of the tree of life. There is this sense of being very aware of what's in your physical realm and having that gratitude and appreciation for the things that you have. Remember, Pentacles are your physical world. And you do see family here. You see the couple here. You see the harvest here. You see the dogs. You see loyalty. You see the biggest castle that you've ever seen. A lot of comfort, security, There's, 3 generations of family. And so I love this. It does seem like there are going to be some changes when you look at, you've got these 2 10s, out with the old, in with the new beginnings. You have that 9 of cups. There is a sense of this enlightenment, okay? Spiritual enlightenment as you move into this new world, this new you. And by the way, the 10 of Pentacles, yeah, it's highly associated with, inheritance. And what did I say? You have Saturn and Neptune and a bunch of, Chiron and Eris and Ceres, which is, your planetoid, in your 8th house. They are in your 8th house of inheritance, like I said. So you could be, inheriting a business that your parents are just like, hey, Jennifer, we're retiring. We're going to move to Maui. You're going to get the, pet shop or, whatever, $20 million business. So there's this big changes here. But wow, that the High Priestess and your final outcome. Very interesting because the 8th house, remember, has depth. It's limitless, right? And there is this sense of mystery there in the 8th house. And that's why, you do that detective work. You want to bring the truth to the surface, etc. Same thing with the High Priestess. There is a sense of mystery with her, but there is a sense of knowing as well. Heightened intuition. That's the 8th house. All right. So really, really, really nice. It's saying trust your intuition, and whatever's happening here, it seems like it's moving you in that direction. And when you trust your intuition, it's not even just trust, it's connecting with it, right? We all have intuition, but, it's a matter of connecting with it that makes that difference. Then everything's great. Everything's wonderful. Okay? You make sound decisions. You karmically sound decisions. You know things before you can make anything happen. And anyway, I know I'm going too long, so I'm gonna. But that's really great because the High Priestess is she is a guardian of the subconscious, and again, the 8th house, it can be a very psychological, but there's a lot of like things happening upstairs, a lot that's going to be on your mind this week. But again, a lot of change into you just being more true to you and trusting you. And yeah, anyway, let's get to your stuff. Virgo, y'all, if you like this reading, it'd be great if you subscribe, leave comments, hype, share. Anyway, leave comments though. I want to hear I want to know what's going on. I want to see what's there's stuff happening. There's stuff happening. Okay. All right. I love y'all. All right. So let's yeah. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. I mean, you're good, okay? You're really, really good, but this is highly indicative of when I said you're standing in front of like all these paths, all these new beginnings. Like it's here. Anyway, you got the Tower. I don't mind it. This is just telling. It's basically saying that 2 things. A, yeah, Uranus is very active. Uranus went direct. Uranus is surprises and the unexpected, and can be chaos and upheaval and breakdowns, all of that. But it's saying navigate it, all right? Because don't let anything stop you from moving into this brand new era that you deserve. Secondly, it is saying it's very likely and maybe in your best interest, if you feel it intuitively, there may be something that you might have to just burn it down, build it up, right? Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is your breakthrough, okay? This is your breakthrough. Now, yeah, the Four of Swords and your external factors area. I love it. With the High Priestess, that's amazing. So there is a sense of calm right here that feels really good. And there's likely going to be, you will have moments this week where you can have that, stillness of mind, just knowing there's all this comfort. You're, watched over, you're protected, and you get to take that time out to just really process things. Because you're going to have some big changes this week. It's so obvious here in your chart, everything. But when I say process things, do that when you're like not, this is just clearing the mind. And a lot of things will come up. And that's what, being in these meditative states are really helpful for. Seven of Cups, yeah, that's fine. Listen, know what you want. Know what you want. And it just seems like there is likely going to be, it's basically just saying you don't want to be in a place where you can't make decisions, where you're not sure, maybe you're indecisive, maybe you don't know what your path is. Like, this is, there's going to be some decisions you're going to make this week. But you see there's some smoke and mirror there. There's a little bit of fog, like that Neptunian fog, like what's real? What's real to you, right? What is your truth? What is that path? And then, wow, that 10 of Cups. And your final outcome, this is happy everything. It's sunshine. It's rainbows, literally, right? Sunshine and rainbows. It's happy couple, happy family. It's a state of just nirvana, euphoria that just exists, and you're in it, and it feels really good. And so a lot of enlightenment here. But two things I was going to point out. You do have these two cards here that indicate, Queen of Swords and the Four of Swords are attributed to Libra. Yeah. And Libra's all about relationships and partnerships. And so keep that in mind. And then you have the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, two Pisces cards. Remember, rules your 7th house of, relationships and partnerships. And so it does feel a little, there may be some activity around there. The other thing I was going to point out is that you got these 3 10s. 10 is the end. 1 0 equals 1, new beginning. We're in the year of 1, 2026, 0 1. But also next week, new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius and the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, the Great Reset. And even Venus conjunct the North Node. And remember, let me remind you, Venus is exalted in Pisces in your 7th house of relationships. And Venus is relationships. Venus is also money. 7th house is also like business partners, is also contracts and agreements. So you're really good. I was going to look, well, let me just see something here. Okay. I was just going to look at that real quick. Okay. That 10 of Swords. Yeah. There you go. 6 of Pentacles. I talked about service to others. And this is also a card of just like everything harmonizing for you, and gratitude and graciousness and generosity, and just really, being supportive. Yeah. And if you're seeking that support's coming, right? It's where that energy is. And Pentacles. Yeah. So again, there may be some activity there, but remember, if you're not here for money or wealth or any of that, your physical world. But this is really great. You're amazing, Virgo. Thanks so much. Next week, it's the week. It's the big week that no human being on this planet has ever experienced anything like it. All right, or even in the past thousands of years. So, and then second, second spread, tier 3 members, we'll break it down. We'll look at all the lunations, Chiron. We'll look at Valentine's Day. There's a lot. Tier 3 members, really good and legendary members. You know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. We have so much fun. And if you like this reading, it'd be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Virgo, wow. All right. Big changes. All right. Thanks so much. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.